Lovecraft Country, man. Rewind 1921 and Circles, man. Last two episodes.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Oh, yeah. Full circle.
It's your boy, Dame Diddy.
Ambitious Ace.
Bang, bang, boomerang.
So, we saw the last episode, but we're going to wait. We gotta unpack this Rewind 1921 episode. So, man, I'm having a hard time remembering how this episode started. Look, you got to understand that full circle episode was a lot. All right, I that went off, and I was just sitting there with my mouth wide open, like the gift I sent you, to Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall from Coming to America.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, so what happened? I'm trying to remember. I know Hippolyta didn't come till later. Okay, yeah. So everybody's standing around Diana's body. Everybody's pointing fingers, blaming who's to blame for Diana. And
great scene.
And then we kind of get them basically saying that they're all like, look, I'm gonna call Christina. No, I'm gonna call Christina. She gonna do this for me because of this. Oh, she gonna do this for me because of this. At the end of the day, a whole bunch of secrets came out, right?
Yeah.
At the same time. And then we had basically Ruby come out and was like, she's gonna do this for me. And she ain't really go into detail why, but we already knew why. Christina comes over, basically like, look, I need the blood of a relative and the book of names if y'all guys want me to, figure out how to heal this. So, Montrose is the logical person, but we saw from the way Montrose kept doing a look that he wasn't the heir, and we kind of had hints of this throughout the season. So what were you guys thinking at that time?
Bro, cat's in the bag. We know that. We know you ain't the daddy. That's all I gotta say.
Especially in that era, there's a lot of fathers now who just not sure, but they don't want to take that chance. I think that's what he was like. Hey, that's that old love. So he's like, I don't know if that's my kid or not. Let's not take any chances here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gets real heavy, man. We see Ruby leave with Christina. Letty pretty much kind of confronts her like, yo, you can't trust him. She's gonna kill Atticus. Christina, Ruby's like, look, whatever, man. I'm going with Zombie, not Zaddy, Zombie. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause she paying the bill, she getting me this the potion and everything I need. And then we see Montrose. He went straight to drinking. He like, look, man, I'm about to have to come clean. Let me go ahead and get some liquor in me. And then he pretty much straight up tells Tick that he might not be the closest relative. I swear, man, Jonathan Majors acting on this show, bro.
Amazing. Amazing.
This dude is knocking it out of the park every single time he has to pull a scene that's emotional. I was feeling that whole argument. I was just like, damn. Like, especially when he's just like, Uncle George kind of like sat there and let all this happen, and he might have been my dad this whole time. I'm sitting there wishing he was my dad.
And that's tough.
That was tough.
Yeah. That
whole part was just, it was too deep for comfort. Like, I was just like, man, this whole conversation is getting really uncomfortable. Letty kind of walked in the middle of it. Was like, look, man, Christina's ready. D's fever is coming down. Hippolyta walks in. I was super amped. Like, first of all, how the hell did you get here?
yeah.
I'm glad we got clarification in full circle. Apparently, she just named herself mother and she came back. But at the time, we was just like, yo, like, where you been at, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just
traveling.
pop
up. She traveling. She on vacation.
So now
that's what I got.
Now we have the guaranteed closest blood relative, which is Hippolyta. They go do the procedure, and it really reverses everything that happened. Now, this is when Ruby left with Christina. I jumped the gun a little bit. And then we find out that Atticus is like, look, the book of names was held by grandma, my great-grandmother. We need to go back into the past to get it if we're going to save D. I love the way Montrose was like, hey, Hippolyta, you can't do that. Or something like that. She's like, I could do whatever I want.
I love that scene.
I've been to the future, so many different possibilities. I can name myself whatever I want. I was just like, bruh. And that sentence is what actually really made me understand what she meant by I name myself whatever. Because at first I was like, I thought I understood, But that line, I 100% understood. Like, I can do whatever I say I can do.
Right.
And I was just like, yo, it's like, that is fire to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she was very just making a statement like, don't put no limitations on me.
Exactly.
You know, and don't say that I can't do anything. I can do everything I put my mind to, basically it is.
Exactly.
And I felt every line of that delivery, man. She killed it.
Yeah, finally stood up for herself, man. Shout out to that scene.
For sure. So everybody loads up in Woody. And we find out, first of all, that Hippolyta has a new key to get back through the portal. So Hippolyta goes to the future. Or they go to the Ori. No, not the Ori. They go to the observatory, I believe.
Yeah.
And she turns the machine on. They go into the past, man. And I felt for Montrose. For real. Like, you could just hear the trauma being played in his head.
Oh, yeah.
And I was feeling it. I was just like, damn, bro. I want to see it just because I like those images, and seeing that stuff is inspiring to me.
Right.
But I know how it ends. Like, I felt Letty's pain this whole episode. Like,
yes.
The way she would look every time somebody would ask her a question, she would always just put her head down. Because it's just like, I can't say it. I really want to help you guys. Like, everybody, everything in me knows I want to help. I don't want what's going to happen, but I can't.
Right.
So they go into the past. They end up in one of the famous hotels. They went the extra mile and let us know that the prom was canceled. Now, I've watched hours of videos of people talking about it. The last remaining survivor, she died in 2018. I've listened to her talk. It's like a 2-hour documentary on Netflix. It's heartbreaking listening to her talk about the experience. Matter of fact, just as an excerpt, one of her experience, like she said, what happened was, so the white men would come through, run because the males kind of like ran everybody, like kind of try to take everybody with them, and they would hide their family members inside of some of the houses. She was a kid at the time. I think she said she was like 4 or 5 or 6 years old, right? And she said, well, what happens, the males would come in, make sure there was nobody in the house. They would leave. The white women would come in with their children, and then they would take and loot like silverware, like jewelry, all of the fancy clothes. And she said she remembers hearing one of the white women saying, I can't believe these niggers have this stuff. Like, if anybody deserves it, it should be us. Type shit. And as they left, they set the houses on fire. So they were coming behind the men and looting and setting the houses on fire as they went. So her story is a little bit different from the way they portrayed it on the show. I just wanted to throw that out there. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't even know where to begin.
That's a lot.
It's just, I really don't like the episode was heavy for me all the way through, just because I kind of put myself in the shoes of Atticus, Letty, and Montrose. You're in this type of situation where you clearly know the outcome, yet you have a mission to get something, and you have to stay focused on that. But you know you have the ability to do something about this situation since you are placed here. But you know the ramifications of changing. It's just a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of weight. So it's heavy.
Yeah, I say kudos to Montrose in this one. Like, you can feel that trauma, you know, for Atticus and Letty. They have no idea. They've heard the stories.
Yeah.
So it's more of a fear of like the unknown. Like, they know it's bad, but they don't know how bad. Mm-hmm. Montrose, he knows, and you can see that. You know, you can see in his face that he wants to change something. You know, no way he can see it twice.
And you know, impossible. Montrose ain't scared of nothing. So for him to be scared to go back to this time period, it just lets you know.
Yeah.
Now, this definitely played out a little bit different than the book, because in the book, I can go over it because it's not going to happen. Spoilers for anybody that cares to read the book.
I mean, I might.
Oh, so don't talk about. Okay, my bad. I'll leave it alone. Okay, so from there they head to Montrose's house, He looks like he's freezing up, but he's just seeing the location where his friend Thomas gets killed.
Yeah.
And Atticus just goes off. Like, I felt bad because I was just like, damn. The way he spoke to him is just like, I know that anger Atticus was feeling. Like, it's bro, it's kind of crazy as black folks, like how much trauma you can relate to because you know what that person is feeling at that time.
Yeah.
Without even slightly remotely being in proximity of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it speaks volumes to them as actors too, because they pulled that emotion between Atticus and Montrose, like, through this whole season has been carried with such a believable weight, like, you know how certain stuff you have to literally like try to read into the character and put your own history into them. They really have brought life to these characters throughout their performances, that you can tell the history just by their emotions. And I think that's what really speaks volumes to me with Atticus and Montrose.
Yeah, and it speaks to a lot of people, especially, people who doesn't have the best relationship with their fathers, the complicated, the love and hate. Like, they really unapologetically dug into that.
Yeah.
And even that last scene where, Montrose is going through so much, Atticus still is, you can still see that tension there and them going back and forth, and just, it's always a tough scene when those two go at it. But.
Absolutely. So they head to Montrose's house, and we get to see why how Montrose was treated as a kid. My man from Black Lightning showed up. Lala came out there with the switch. I've gotten whipped with switches. It is not fun. It is way worse than a belt. It just, I was like, I knew the pain. I was just looking like, man, I know that feeling. Now, it may not have went to the extent that Montrose went to, but then we also got to follow that up with seeing the dynamic between Montrose, George, and Dolores. No, not Dolores.
Oh man. It wasn't Hattie, was it?
Was it? No. Was it Dolores?
I thought it was Dolores.
Okay, so yeah,
I could be wrong.
I believe it might have been Dolores.
I'm about to look just to make sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's Dolores. But yeah, we got to see the dynamic between all three of them and
Dora.
Oh, Dora.
And she was always there to protect Montrose, even though she liked George. So it was a cool dynamic. We see the whole argument. Montrose storms off. Young Montrose storms off. And not too long after, they go looking for him. The real Montrose disappears.
Yeah.
And now Tick and Letty have to split up. And they had that kind of small acknowledgement of the pregnancy, which was really like Tick's facial expressions with the acting, man. Like it almost like it was on par up there with "You Bring Me My Son" from Denzel, from John Q. Like, it was that level of acting for me, and I thought he knocked it out of the park with that couple second speech with Letty, without even saying anything.
And I love that interaction that they had, because it was just like, I know you know now, and it wasn't just no long drawn out like, how'd you know,
Yeah.
So I kind of like how they
it's
just
like,
touch and agree.
We ain't got time for all of that.
Yeah. So I love that.
This show had a lot of those type of moments where it was just been like just knowing things just by looking at each other.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, that was the first time, but I love how they add that. No dialogue is needed at this point. Like, come on.
Yeah.
We got magic and monsters. You don't think I know about that baby that's in there? Come on, let's just be real.
Super facts. So Letty is two different stories are happening at the same time. Letty is walking up to the house. She gets cut off by some angry white mob. They try to shoot her. Bruh, the way Letty was out this season.
Man, she was gone.
Bruh. when that last episode was called Full Circle, it could have been called that because her ass ran laps doing this show, bruh.
I can see that.
Because she hauled ass down that street and was ducking. The bullet, bounced off. But the way Montrose's father came out of the damn house with the shotgun, and Dora's father came out the hood out with the rifle.
Yeah.
That was like inspiring because it's just like, they were fighting. They were like, we ain't just laying down.
Yes.
We ain't just laying down.
And I love that because it was just showed how even in the midst of all this terror, we were still strong.
Yeah.
They had a plan. They knew protect our women, protect everybody. Like I loved it.
It's like they knew something like this could happen.
Most definitely.
And despite the differences that the two fathers showed early on, obviously they have different, well, they see the world differently.
Yeah.
Still in that time of crisis, they said, "Hey, no, we all know what time it is.
Right.
Let's fight back." So.
Yeah, but by the way, for those that don't know the historical time period, there had been race riots happening from it was a 3-year period. It's called the Red Summer if you just Google it. So everybody in Tulsa knew how this was going on around the country and other places. So of course they were strapped up and they were ready to fight because it was just like, we don't know when this is going to come this way, but we know it's definitely a possibility because we're doing good and they don't like that.
Right.
So Letty gets led in the house and I don't remember the grandmother's name, but she saw them sneakers immediately and just gave her this look like, what is you doing here? You ain't supposed to be here. But she was nice. She was friendly. She was just like a grandmother would be, welcoming. I got that vibe. And then we also had Montrose. At first when he broke open that thing of liquor, I thought he was about to start drinking, man. I was just like, damn, like, is it that bad? But apparently he brought it to start protecting Thomas. I don't know what he was going to do with it. Maybe he was going to set it on fire, or maybe he was going to clock somebody in the head with it. But Atticus catches up to him. They have a whole argument and discussion about how he can't change it. That discussion right there was really deep, man. Like, saving Thomas won't change nothing. It's just a long line of sacrifices I made to be your father. I was just like, bro, that's a mic drop moment.
I was blown away by that statement because it was harsh, but it was cold hard facts. And the look that Atticus gave him, like, it just spoke volumes.
Man, I felt like this whole time Atticus has been kind of getting the upper hand in those type of arguments between the two. Mm-hmm. But that one right there was like, ooh. that was a big one, but very important for this scene because that moment right there is probably what turned Montrose into the guy that he is now. That moment right there, that trauma, that was a turning point from him. So that conversation was just so great. Yeah. So great.
So we cut back to Letty inside of the house, and they were all handed guns and were basically told to like post up at a certain location of the house. And we see Dora's sister talking to Letty, and every sentence stings. Like, you see Letty's face every single time she says something to Letty. Letty is just destroyed. Like, I can't wait till she gets back so I can apologize. You just see Letty kind of just like it was just so rough for her to be in this situation. She eventually sneaks upstairs and is looking for the book. Granny comes up there with the gun, ain't having it. You ain't looking for a better shot. What do you want? So we go from there, and then so at this point, Montrose, man, the way he spoke to Thomas, like, I'm talking about, it was like gut wrenching. And then for that to happen, then the angry white mob shows up there with the guns, surround them, call him a crazy racial slur, and shoots him in the face. 1080p was done. She didn't want to see anymore. She was just like, I can't today. Like, I just can't. And then, they pretty much start getting ready to, it's looking not too good for Montrose. And then George and Dora pull up and start fighting. Next thing you know, he's telling a story, and then he's telling about this mysterious person that shows up that he had never told anybody about. And then when he starts telling the story to Atticus, I started getting it too, because I was just like, hold on.
I started putting together.
This is the joint from the beginning of the first episode. Like, I got you, kid. And then that's exactly what happened, bro. He got him,
as soon as he
kid.
grabbed the bat before that whole scene, I was just like,
hell yeah.
I know what's about to happen. And I was just like, this is what happens when you mess with time.
Bro, when Michael K. Williams said, "You're the mysterious stranger," bro, like the hair on my arm stood up because it was like da-na-na-na. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got so amped because I was just like, word. And he just went over there and proceeded to whoop ass with the baseball bat. How did this make you guys feel? Because I just want to say I was still angry. It felt like a small win, even though it was a huge loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you because it's like he got to do some, but you could have done a lot more. But you can't. But I want to say that scene was just really satisfying just because Atticus made sure to lay the work on everybody, male or female.
Oh yeah, homegirl caught it too. He was not playing.
So
he's like, I ain't discriminating against races. I'm sorry.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, I really loved how that scene was executed, and it was just powerful. I mean, it's crazy how violence can make you feel so good, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure of this show.
All I gotta say is my man had good form. You know what I'm saying? I did peep the form. I played a little bit of baseball growing up, and I was never good. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that follow through, I was like, yeah, he is a real one. Shout out to that. Great scene, man. That with the one with Letty, I was like, man, this is epic. So great scene.
And I think another thing I liked too was the duality between young Montrose and present day Montrose. They were both looking at Atticus with like the same kind of awe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really loved that just because it was kind of like, you know, they were both looking up to Atticus at the same moment, if you kind of think about it. And it's just such a deep scene, man, because it's just like at that moment, young Montrose was aspiring to be that strong type of person, but he never quite grew to be that person. But then here come present day Montrose, seeing what he has helped create, you know, the strong, brave soldier that Atticus is and everything like that. So I just really think that speaks volumes.
Well, he created his hero,
yeah,
I guess, in a sense, you know, which I thought was really dope. Like the hero that he was looking for saved him, but it ended up being his son. Like, it's just a mind.
Yeah.
It's over my head.
Yeah.
So from there, we go back to the house. Letty gets the book, and man, the fact that she had to literally watch Atticus's grandmother burn.
That was the toughest scene for me the whole episode.
That was tough.
That I'm talking about. Everything was rough up to that point. But what did she say? When my great great grandson is born, he will be my prayer resurrected in flesh, or something like that.
My prayer, my faith resurrected.
My faith resurrected in flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how that ended up coming into play in the newest episode too as well. But we're gonna get to that. But watching her burn, bro, I'm talking about, it gave me the chills, bro. Like I kind of wanted to shut down because I was just like, damn, bro. Like they had to show her burn. Like that was crazy. And just to think, like, there were people literally burnt alive inside of their houses during Black Wall Street. Like the one survivor, she talked about how they got out right at the last minute and snuck away because if they would have got found, they would have got shot by some of the women and men that were roaming around. And they all kind of like abandoned to, I think, one of the 3 churches. They kind of use those. And you got to remember, because the National Guard was there, they didn't really stop it until later. You know, it's really a crazy situation when you actually read about it. It's like, it'll really, really piss you off if, you know, you don't know. But how did you guys feel about Letty having to watch her burn?
it was very tough, and it when we were watching it, we were just sitting there like kind of just in disbelief, but the actualization that like this really happened just kind of hit us hard. Like it was just kind of one of those moments where you just stare and you just kind of reflect and you just stop. That's just really how I can describe it. It was a powerful scene.
Yeah, I mean, too powerful. Like, I mean, like just seeing Letty's character develop, how we saw her in the very beginning, up into that moment where she's holding her hand, like you can just see the pain. I was just like, she felt so. It looked like she felt defeated, and I think at the time she had the, of course, that's why she survived the fire. But she noticed she was going to stay alive, and to see all her people kind of go down, like you felt that in her acting. I thought it was so amazing. It was incredibly sad, but I definitely enjoyed the scene as well. Just because of the history aspect about it. I'm glad we got opportunity to see it.
So we get to see Montrose and Atticus. They running back through the city. They seeing all of this stuff happen. They're seeing bombs being dropped from airplanes. Oof. For those that don't know, Greenwood, in other words, Black Wall Street was the first place in the United States where bombs were dropped on Americans from planes. That was the first time that it ever happened in American history. They were dropping dynamites from airplanes that they had took from the sky to blow up black-owned businesses and everything like that. You got to remember, they destroyed 400 black-owned businesses in one day, a bank, 3 churches, a couple schools, a few movie theaters, a hotel chain. Like, when you really look at the amount of damage and the amount of wealth they destroyed, which was never given back in any form, it's absolutely crazy. So we see Montrose and them running back, and obviously something's going on with the portal. Is phasing in and out. They jump through, and Hippolyta's struggling.
Yeah.
But she transforms into Orthea Blue and garners the power to get it back open.
Which was an amazing scene, by the way. I must say that myself.
It definitely was, but I can't even front. I couldn't even get excited because that moment when Montrose started telling the story about the store owners and the people that lost their life, like the doctor, they're like the best doctor in the world, and that whole speech, bruh, like that whole speech is completely heartbreaking. Shout out to Michael K. Williams for the way he delivered that, bro. That was absolutely perfect.
The whole scene, just with him overlooking the destruction and the damage, and with him telling that story as Letty is walking through the middle of the streets.
Oof.
Such, I don't know what, I don't know how to say it. It's just like, I don't even know if I could have came up with that scene in the writer's room. Like, that is just such of a heavy statement to make on a show, period.
Yeah. I feel like the writers felt like they had like some heat, like I'm about to kill with these ones, because that scene right there was just, it was so powerful. And then even when Montrose was kind of naming those names, I think those are actual people.
Yes, they were.
In real life. So like, those are yet another opportunity for us to kind of go back and do some research on our own to kind of, figure out who these people are and what this situation about. They did a really good job of making us feel the pain that those guys felt. And I was so spent in that moment, watching it, like, man,
yeah,
I didn't know what to do. Like, I just kind of felt numb,
So the new episode actually has me have a whole different take on Journey walking through the fire. I feel like maybe the fire was symbolic of her anger, like that she was feeling as she was walking back to the portal.
Oh, most definitely.
Because
that's
it's like
a good one.
At the time, it's just like the whole time I'm like, yo, Letty, hurry up. But at the same time, if you think about how you would feel in that situation, would you be running? Like, if after you just saw somebody sacrifice themselves and burn themselves, knowing you just told them they were going to die, and they still sacrifice and put themselves on the line for your future.
Gosh, man.
You're not going to be as open to wanting to haul ass and run back.
But I don't want to jump ahead, but it can. I want to save it because I'm glad you brought it up. Let's finish this episode first.
So they jump through so everybody comes through the portal. Hippolyta falls, collapses. They're all celebrating getting a book, but I feel like the writer said it best in the podcast. It's just like that's not. It's really not a celebration though. Like you're happy you got the book, but everything fucked. Like now, not only do you know the history, you saw it. You actually were there and lived part of it now. And you probably lived it for real to begin with anyway, since you ended up in the future, that just lets you know that what you thought you was doing wasn't really original. That's what really happened in the first place. That's kind of the way they seem to handle time travel with this one. But that was definitely like deep.
Most definitely.
Was the end of that episode. And now we got to get the full circle because that's what everybody really wants to talk about. So the episode starts off with them running Diana up to the room. And they have a piece of paper that Letty gives Atticus that has the language of Adam on it. And apparently he can still read it, which was interesting. And he reads a passage from it. It turns to a page that has his birthmark on it. And then him and Letty faint. I was just like, whoa, what the hell is going on? I was confused. Like, you don't understand. Barely anything from this chapter was in the book. This was all new. So everything that was happening, I was just like, whoa, I don't know what's going on. What the hell is going on? Like, this is different. And then we see him in the house. And was that the same record that was playing with George and Dora were dancing back in episode 2?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, why am I supposed to know this record? And then when he says mama, and just bro, they nail moments of silence on this show.
Yes.
Yeah, I tell you.
Absolutely nail moments of silence. They
wait, we're skipping a part. We're skipping a part though.
Yeah.
He met Hattie first.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. He met Hattie. She was running through the house, and then she kind of just turns around and starts talking to him like your blood is the key. You gonna save all of them?
Mm-hmm.
She explained
and as
it.
she's talking,
Letty is talking to
the I forget her name, the great grandmother, I guess you would say.
I'm assuming that's Hattie's daughter.
That's Hattie's. No, it'll be
No, it can't be.
It'll be Hattie's mother.
Why do you say that?
Because she said my great grandchild. Bro, bring faith to flesh.
I'm not good. Like I'm not good with the whole lineage thing.
Yeah.
So Hattie is from the slave times, so she had to be older. So she passed the book down. Oh wait,
no, you right.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is her daughter, and Hattie would be the great grandmother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that whole conversation that we see Letty talking to Hattie's daughter, and she's pretty much telling her, "Your kid brought you here. Yeah. Don't worry. We got a whole bunch of reading to do. We got to teach you how to read this book." Which was really cool to me because in a book, the way they have to learn the language of Adam, it just has to be like the right time and stars have to align. And then all of a sudden, when it's time, you can read it. I love the way they handled it this way. You have to teach it to somebody. You have to teach somebody how to read it, which makes way more sense than, you know, it randomly happening. So, but the way Atticus and his mom's relationship, like he didn't say anything. He just laid on her lap. It was a while before a word was actually spoken. I was just like, because that made you feel it.
Yeah. Most definitely. I agree wholeheartedly. That both of those scenes, it felt like as time stopped in that moment for them, it stopped for us because I was just at the TV like, what's going on, you know? But I just really love how it all played out, just with both Letty and Atticus, how they were both getting the information that they needed. And kind of when they just came together, it was just like all clicked. So I really love how each one of those scenes played out. It was really, really powerful.
Yeah, especially when they talked about the fire. You know, she talked about the importance of the book and how she was afraid of it. Like, I love that whole story. Then the daughter was like, no, she shouldn't have locked it away because she locked it shut. She shouldn't have done that. And they all pretty much took the time, came to a conclusion. Then the mom came in. Like, my mind was like, yo.
Like, do you think
Like,
all of that?
slow
Do
down.
you think all of that was symbolic? Because I felt like it was all symbolic. Like, if we embraced our power, our
Hell
anger,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
our
that was
anger,
on
and use it.
purpose.
Because I was just like, so is magic a metaphor for our anger transformed into something productive? That's what it felt like.
Hold that
this
thought
last
until we get to the end of the
was talking
episode. There
about.
was
I'm about to
there was
say,
something that was
yeah.
said at the end of this episode, or I was just like, bars.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what line you're talking about too. So
Yeah.
so you know, basically from there they kind of come out at they start doing this one of the spells, and we see the monster that on the bed kind of disappearing, and we also see Diana going back to normal. Then they kind of jump up, but her arms still shrivel back up, which I was kind of upset about. I was just like, damn.
I already knew where they were going.
I knew where it was
we
going.
already knew it was going to
I
happen.
knew where it
Yeah.
was going.
But at the same time, I was really hoping Diana, because, man, I like Diana's character so much. So at this point, they start going over the plan. They start telling each other the plan and everything like that, which I thought was dope. And they're incorporating everybody into it, which is another thing I thought was dope, because it's kind of something that happened in the book, but it's not to that extent. Only one person really needed to know spells. Everybody else just kind of helped out, and it's like this real epic, all of the stuff from all of the episodes coming together. Y'all should definitely read the book or listen to the audiobook, because
I'm
the
highly
ending,
considering
the,
because I
the
want
ending
more.
is so different. There's some similarities, but for the most part, it's 100% different, and you're not going to expect it, because some of the stuff that they tied in from the show never got used for the ending. So it's just like, man, because Ruby plays a huge part in how it plays out at the end, and they didn't use it. And I was just like, man, I really wanted to see that play out in real life. But like I said, this episode was still really good. So I'm trying not to spoil the book for y'all. If you wonder why, like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I'm tiptoeing over it. So, so what happens next? So they're up here. They go down into Winthrow's basement for the house, and they go. And the funny thing was, I didn't notice that that's where the damn thing led to. I was just like, oh, so this is confirmation that this led back to Letty's house. Like, okay,
I think A said that too.
Because in the book, the basement leads somewhere else. So I thought that was interesting that it led back to the place. They put the salt down. It looked like it was salt. Him and Letty did a spell, and it brought Titus Braithwaite back. And like, bruh, the way Atticus wanted to swing on him, that was me. When he was just like, "You ungrateful niggers, I gave you more than I was just like, bro, whoop his ass. But then he tried to punch him, and it went through. And then my man teleported right to where Christina was at. Them niggers got the book, and the next thing you know, they called him back. And then he caught them hands. I was glad he got to catch them hands. They carved the piece of his meat out. What were you guys thinking at this time?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. At the moment, I was confused. But after the scene process, I was just like, okay, I'm putting together. But just that whole exchange, I was just like you, like, man, whoop that man ass. I don't even, I just don't even want to see him no more, man. But
we hadn't even seen him that much.
Exactly, right?
I thought it was kind of hilarious, you know, like, I don't know, for some reason I just was laughing at it. But the scene itself, like, he disappeared. He was just off. He just got brought back to life, and he was still on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like that was my whole thing. Like, dang, bro, you just died. You was gone. Now you back. Like, even after death.
Yeah, most definitely.
He's still on that mess, man. So I thought it was a pretty funny scene, man. But I'm glad they got that. That skin part was a little weird to me. You know, it was a little wild to me. But yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah, by the way, I just want to point out, apparently we got the names mixed up. So Hattie is the one that was teaching Letty the book. Hannah is the ancestor that was running.
There you go.
Through the house.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so they get a piece of his meat or his chest. He's dead. Good. They crash the car. Christina gets like completely thrown from the car, which I thought was interesting. And obviously she has the mark of Cain, so she didn't really care whatsoever. Then they're up there talking about the plan again as well. They're planning it out, what time they're going to go back to Artem and possibly needing Ruby's help. Christina just pulls up. I was just like, man, y'all ain't put no goat blood on the door of this building. What the hell wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
But she just straight up walked in there making demands, took the mark of Cain away from Letty, and then just left. I was kind of mad. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all should have had goat's blood on the door. She wouldn't have been able to walk right in.
I feel that. I feel the same way.
I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, man, the book is right there. She can't just go and just start, ruffling people up and just get in the book. But I don't know. I thought she's going to do a spell or something and steal the book that way, but it didn't go down like that.
I mean, in some type of way, I don't know. I feel like Christina was just like, it ain't worth it. I'm still going to get through Atticus some kind of way. So I think she's just really cocky when it comes to that.
Yeah. So basically, so they go back to Letty's house, right? And Tick calls Gia, meets up with her at the bar, and he comes clean like, I still cared about you. I was lying, I was spitting gas. I was just angry, and he basically it says that she's family, and I thought it was a really heartfelt moment. But the way she said to the dude, "Are you willing to die to fuck me?" I was just like, "Whoa!" Like just put yourself in that guy's shoes. What are you thinking if a girl says that to you?
I don't even want no part of this.
Yeah,
I'm walking away. No. That is
my man. He hesitated a little bit.
He thought about it.
He thought about it for a second.
He was like, yo, you know what? This might be worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, dang, he's doing that.
I might be ready. I might be willing for that. So, and we also found out that Gia's mom had passed, which was like, damn, that's sad. And then she told her what the shaman had told her, and Atticus kind of reminded her, like, we're the ones that change, whatever. We're the ones that are the makers of our future. We can choose what we choose to be. We could choose to be the heroes, or we could choose to be the villain. We could choose to be Starlight, or we could choose to be Homelander. It's your choice. It's an option. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really love how they played that scene out, especially when he was telling her the significance of what grieving is and everything like that.
That was
it was just a really powerful scene, not in terms of just meaning, just for them as two characters. It brought their story full circle in a sense and everything like that. Brought her meaning, everything like that. So I thought that played, really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I for some reason, I know when he was talking to his mom, did she mention that Atticus was both Montrose and I didn't get that part, but she said she had to embrace.
We all raised you no matter what. We all loved you together, and you took the best parts of all of us.
So she never really gave him confirmation.
Nah, and I don't feel like he really asked for it. He didn't ask for it either.
There was confirmation, though. I'm going to point on that later.
Okay. But I know in that scene, she said the biggest mistake she made was not embracing both of them, right? And I feel like when Atticus went back, he kind of embraced her as well. Yeah. And I feel like might be kind of what he got from his mom. Yeah. And when he was having a conversation with her, he felt sure that she wouldn't become that monster. Maybe like he knew, because I know when he talked to his mom, he was like, I don't want to die. I think he knew he was going to die. All this whole time he's been just saying that he's not going to die, Yeah. So I think he was telling her that, hey, don't worry, we get to change our own past, because he knew
that's a good point.
This outcome for her, So I thought that scene was great.
Yeah, that gave him enough strength to talk to her. That's a great point. I didn't even think about it like that.
Oh, another thing we forgot to talk about was when Titus got brought back. It was all the women in the family that brought him back, which I thought was dope. Like it just kind of just showed the
Yeah.
lineage of ancestors, brought his ass right back there just so Titus can whoop his ass.
Jizzle.
Just so
Yep.
Atticus could whoop his ass. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get to see after the whole exchange with Gia, the next day shows up. They're at the store, and Atticus is just looking at his family, and this is how you know he's gonna die. You can see it in his face because he's looking at everybody.
We forgot one important scene though.
Yeah, my
Where
bad.
Hippolyta.
Ruby. Okay, but yeah. So also forget Ruby and Letty at the gravesite. So they went to their mother's
that one too.
gravesite,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they
Yeah,
had
that
a
was
really important conversation about sisterhood. And I felt Ruby so much when she said, like, you think it's a new moment, but to me, it's the same thing. You're doing the same thing as you always do. You're only asking me because you need me at this time. That whole conversation was deep, and I just thought that was really interesting.
A lot of people, because after the episode, I looked on Twitter reactions. There were some people really mad at Ruby, and I'm like, this is such an actual family
Yeah, it's a family issue
that
for
goes
You ain't lying.
on.
You ain't
And this is
lying.
actually real life discussions that happen modern day right now. And I just felt like, Letty had good intentions of coming to her, but from Ruby, she's always just seen one side of Letty. And, Letty has only seen one side of Ruby. So they both are coming from incomplete places. So that scene and how they acted it out was just phenomenal to me because it was believable. There was nothing that felt rushed or I thought it was just well done for both of their characters that we've got to know from episode 1. We saw how their relationship was, and it's always been like this until this episode.
Yeah, just like Montrose and Atticus, they had that really weird relationship. I feel like the sister dynamic kind of has that equal type of feel. You just really feel bad for Ruby.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was just feeling like, damn. And even in that moment when she was kind of, you can tell she was in love, but she loved her sister as well. And it's like, man, I just felt her pain in that moment, So that dynamic between those two it's so good. It feels so real too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the other moment we forgot to go over was Hippolyta cooking for Diana, talking to her about naming yourself and the future and aspect of time, and then we also get the hint that she is getting the arm put on. I kind of don't want to focus on it too long because we ain't got a whole bunch of time left. But that's pretty much the sum of what happened with that whole situation. So we see them all traveling in the car, and they all start singing along to the same song. That was a great moment. That was a really good feel good moment right there. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so they end up in Artem, and we see Tick standing there, pulls a piece of meat out of a little bag. They cleaned it. It was clean. It was just hilarious the way Montrose looked at him. It was just, he said something about just swallow. And then we also forgot to say that Ruby gave Letty a container of blood, which I thought was suspicious because it was filled to the top. But when they showed it,
yes,
it
I'm about to say
was
that.
slightly not full, and I was just like, okay, whatever. But he pours the blood in his mouth. He eats a piece of meat, and then he had to swallow that down with some of that liquor because he was like, nah. So Montrose starts putting the salt down because obviously they're trying to make a huge perimeter for the spell that they're about to cast.
Right.
And then as Atticus is walking in, bro, all the white people come in and start taking articles off of him. That was disturbing.
Yes.
It was just like, bro, what the hell is going on? And we see Ruby and Letty inside of one of the cellars in the top floor setting spells up. And then we see Hippolyta, Montrose, and Gia like in that the driveway to get to Artem that they were in.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So Letty and Ruby start having this conversation, and then she said something that Letty just caught and was just like, "Thank you for helping us at the bridge. No problem. I'm your sister." And it's just like, you're 100% not Ruby right now.
As soon as she said that, I was just like, nah, that is motherfucking Christina.
Yeah.
The way that she basically just let her know that she killed her. I love the fact
Hold
that Letty
on.
just
I
stole
don't know if
off
she's
on
dead. I don't think she's dead.
it. She's dead.
She said that they are comatose. She said that to Ruby.
Well, hold on.
plenty
We
of
could talk
times.
about that at the end. But as far as what Christina said they were dead. And the reason why she couldn't bring them back is because she didn't have the book of names to bring them back. That's why she wanted it, because she could bring William back. But
Right.
you know, off to another thing. They get into a fight. We also see them coming with pitchforks and everything. Montrose is starting to whoop ass. Hippolyta starts whooping ass.
Hippolyta was whooping ass. Yes.
And then Gia kind of she got a couple licks in, but she kind of got took down. And then we also see Diana inside of man, I forgot what the hell is the name of the damn truck?
I forgot too.
Car.
Debbie, not Debbie, Woody. So Diana's inside of Woody reading the actual book. She's hearing noises and stuff like that. It's just like that. So Christina shows up at the party wearing all white. It was a really nice dress too, by the way. And they start lifting Atticus up, and she basically lets him know, like, you know, that was a nice plan, but, you know, unfortunately I figured it out. Then she lifts him up. He starts going berserk because he starts realizing, like, yo, what the fuck did you do to Letty?
Yeah.
The way Letty fell out of that building, I was just like, I know she's not dead. I
I was scared. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was scared.
My whole house
I
went
was
quiet.
scared.
My whole house went quiet.
I screamed it. I said no, like loud.
Yeah,
I just knew the show golf was gonna jump up and grab her or something. Nope. Her ass hit the ground. So she then you see them bring in Hippolyta, bring in Gia, bring in Montrose on a stretcher, and it's just like this moment where you're just like, this ain't gonna be good. This ain't going good. She slices both of Atticus's arms.
Well, that was crazy.
And bathes herself in his blood, says the spell, and you can see it taking a life force out of Atticus. And Letty she felt it. It's like she felt it, jumped up, and hauled ass there just so she can say bye. Bro, that was like, damn.
Man. Powerful.
That was rough, bro. That was rough. We see him pretty much take his last breath. And we also see Diana's car get attacked by a show golf, but Tick show golf jumps out of nowhere. Randy Orton style starts whooping ass.
Yeah, loved it.
So we didn't know what she was waiting for, but of course we got to see that shortly. She goes ahead. She puts the spell through. She takes all Tick's life force. Letty is pissed. She sticks the sword through there and tries to do the spell, but it's not working. And that's when Gia decides to figure out to connect the two of them. And it didn't kill Christina. I don't even think it removed the mark of Cain. I think it just took away her invulnerability. And Letty actually got to go ahead, cast the spell, and lock Christina completely out of magic.
Not just Christina.
Yeah. Oh, white folks. Completely.
Yes. I thought that scene was magnificent. It had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. The way we got to see both of Atticus' memories, the fill in the blanks, the way we got to see Christina's memories and see what happened to Ruby.
I just want to point out something. I don't think all of those were memories, bro.
I think they were.
And the reason why is because Gia, with Atticus, Gia sees the future, the present, and the past.
I don't think anything was the future though. Those are all past.
Some of that stuff is season 2, bro. I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
Oh,
that wasn't season 2. I will have to disagree with that completely.
I'm of the ilk that I think some of that might be Easter eggs for season 2. I could be wrong, but they're definitely doing the season 2.
Well, you know, I'm saying they're doing the season 2, but none of those were season 2 images. Those is all for Atticus. What he did, he gave the letter to Hippolyta to give the Montrose.
Hippolyta.
Everything that happened, Ruby got caught.
Yeah.
Ruby got caught. Christina caught her in the act. Everything like that. We didn't see anything.
Yeah, that
else.
was tough.
Yeah, that was tough to see.
But no, so some of that stuff she was seeing from Christina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She saw both of their point of views.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, one of them nuggets was from the future. But I ain't even going to talk about it right now.
It's gotta be.
But yeah, so, you know, she's stuck under these bricks. They leave. And that was sad when Montrose finally found out that Tick, because he thought Tick was going to be able to make it out.
Yeah.
And just saying,
Oh, that was
that hurt, bro. That
Yeah,
hurt.
it did. Yeah.
So they leave. Christina's sitting there calling for help, and Diana walks up with the damn Shogoff and the metal arm, cracks her neck.
No, forget about that.
She
Help
said,
me.
Yeah, huh?
Y'all just don't learn.
Yeah,
y'all just
don't learn.
y'all just
Yeah.
never learn.
Cracked her neck, and then just walked off. And the show just ended, bro. I wanted more. Because and the reason why I knew there was going to be a season 2 is because it's just like the book gives you an epilogue to kind of tell you how everybody goes. But the way the show ended, it could just end there. I could see it still ending there because it's like everything was satisfied, but just the way that HBO kept posting season 1 finale. I'm just like,
exactly.
I'm just
yes.
like, y'all keep
Okay.
hitting at season 1. Y'all going to do another season.
Well, I just want to say shout out to the lines that were dropped in this mesmerizing last 5-10 minutes. Letty was like, "Yeah, we got the magic now," and I'm just like, I see what y'all doing, writers' room. I like this. I like that.
Love it.
Diana
Love it.
not having no remorse, no nothing. Like, I love that. It was dark, but I loved it. Cause I'm sitting there like, did she actually just do that? But that shot at the end with the Shogoff just howling at the moon and just in the forefront, Diana's right there. That's my season 2 right there. Give me a season 2 of Diana. I'll be all with that. But what I was pointing to earlier, I think it was confirmed that Diana is probably part of the bloodline because she has the ability to tame the Black Shogoth.
I mean, they show Atticus teaching her.
But still, I don't think that's just something easily passed down. That has to be a bloodline thing.
Possibly. I mean, we never
So
saw her
that's my
back to see
theory.
if she had a tattoo or anything like that.
So that's just my theory. But I love how it ended with that. Like, I'm with you. I wanted more, but that ending was just so striking to where I'm satisfied and I'll be willing to wait until the season 2.
What you think, Ace? I ain't bang bang.
Yo, I feel the exact same way. After that thing ended, I was like, shit, I never said this in life. But I wanted season 2, but if they didn't do it, I have to run that season 1 back. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
It's gonna
that
hit
thing
different.
was
It's gonna
hard.
hit different the second time around.
Man, and then I feel like I got some black girl magic energy too in this episode towards the end. I just thought that was just so amazing how they pulled that off, and my brain, like afterwards, I was like, "Yo, do I gotta take a nap and kind of like sleep this
for
off?" Just feel
minute,
like
I
a
was just
test.
like, I don't even know if I could do a review right now or talk about it because I didn't even get a chance to process.
Right?
Yeah.
It was a lot going on, especially with Atticus. That scene with Atticus, like it was just so much. Like I couldn't see a season 2, but I really hope. I really want them to have one, but if they didn't, I'm not sure if I would be too upset. But I would love to see a season 2. We need that.
I propose this question. Does Atticus come back?
Don't care.
You don't care?
Not
No,
even
I'm
gonna
serious.
lie. I'm dead ass serious. Like if he comes back, that's cool. If he doesn't, I'm completely okay with him not coming
Yeah,
back.
me too.
Because
I think
same
is so
here.
strong. Is strong. Don't get me wrong. It'll be missing a huge.
But I'm saying I
Bart.
think it's brave of them for them to actually, because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter like, oh man, if there's a season 2, I'm not watching it because Atticus ain't gonna be in it. But I'm
Look,
like,
man,
yo,
don't pay
this
attention
whole
to none of
shadow
those
has
crap
been
people say.
this whole show has been foreshadowing his death.
Yeah.
Especially this
Yeah.
episode with the whole theme of sacrifice and everything about what it means to have a
show in
family.
general has been about sacrifice. Almost
Yeah.
every episode's had some form of sacrifice in it.
So I would not be upset if he doesn't come back. I think that he served his purpose greatly this season to where somebody else can quote unquote carry the torch, which I think would be Diana. So I'm just gonna say that.
I want that.
Well, just real quick before my camera dies, I just wanted to point out that at the very beginning on the first episode, of one of the last things Atticus sees going to him is one of those appendages that Gia had. I just thought that was interesting. That was the last thing he saw before he woke up.
That's right.
But yeah, man, I got like 3 minutes before my camera dies. So my final thoughts on the show, man. This is one of the best TV shows I've seen. Period. I absolutely love the show. All of the actors killed it. If they're not nominated for awards, your award show is bogus. I mean, your award show is already bogus. But
Facts.
if they're definitely not nominated, Journey Smollett, Jonathan Majors, Aljanae Ellis, like Abby Lee, like there's and Jada Harris, Michael K. Williams, bro, the whole cast is
Everybody.
Fire. The whole cast is fire, man. How you feel, Ace?
Everybody. Same way, man. Everybody was fire. I can't wait for season 2. Shout out to the cast. Shout out to the producer, Misha Collins. You have a crazy mind, but I enjoy it. Misha Green. I'm sorry.
Yo, this was so amazing. I think I got a new brain wrinkle from this whole series, man. One of the best series I've seen. Like, I don't know what to compare this to. Like, man, shout out, amazing job, and I really hope there's another season.
All right, y'all, man. Yo, y'all want to hear our thoughts, man? Y'all can holler at us, man. Thank you guys for checking out this joint. Go over to Welcome to the Wall, subscribe, like, check out Ambitious Ace streaming here. If Lovecraft Country is back for a second season, we're going to be reviewing that.
Yes, way, HBO, man, get at us.
Yes. Please. Thank you guys for watching all season, man. We love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.